Hello, gardening friends. This is Travis from Louisville, Kentucky, Zone 6/7. And I'd like to take you through a mid-July garden tour. So sit back and grab a beverage of choice and come walk the garden with me. For those of you that are new to my YouTube page, I do these weekly garden videos so we can see what's blooming at different times of the season. And I try to make it a little informational as much as I can, mostly for art and just to share the garden and my flowers and landscaping with you guys. I also do this as a just kind of like a diary for myself to kind of see the progress and the just the progress through the years and see how the garden evolves, what works out and what doesn't. Anyway, so I'm going to shut up and I'm going to try not to talk too much in this video and just kind of name a few. The blue that you see here, this is the blue Victoria Salvia. Some of you guys are going to say, he says he's not going to talk as much at the beginning of every video, and then he does. And I apologize. Mr. Edgar Allen is out here with me. Okay, the orange, of course, is the marigolds. Love the blue and orange together. As a matter of fact, my favorite combinations are the purple and orange and blue and yellow. I believe they're complementary colors, so that's why they look good. The green shrub here. And here. And all throughout the garden. We have a few more smaller ones on that side, but we'll get to them. This is spirea. And it gets this pink flower on it. Sorry, the cat just bumped my phone. This here is the Russian sage. I recommend planting this perennial. It is perennial. I recommend putting 3 or 4 plants together. It makes a bigger statement. It also looks really good in like a row or like a wave through the garden. This tree here, and I can get closer. This is a hydrangea tree. I want to say it's a paniculata, but don't quote me on that. So it gets cone-shaped flowers, and then the odor they get, they turn pink. So the odor of the flowers, they will gradually turn off pink. And this variety is called Pinky Winky. Move on over here to the pink dogwood, wow. The pink knockout rose. I actually have a pink dogwood over there. I'm not really sure why I said that. If you're in our zone or anywhere really, you know how bad the Japanese beetles are. They have been so bad this year. They have really done a number on the roses and the crepe myrtle. They're even beginning to mess with the hibiscus. This here is the red crepe myrtle. It's a little slow this year in blooming, like I said. I think this is the culprit. A lot of people have different ways of getting rid of them. I like to use the Sevin Dust, which I haven't got in a while. You can get it at Lowe's or Home Depot. Alright, moving on. Here is the Limelight hydrangeas. And this is just their second season here. I planted them back June of last year. And they were just little, about the size of this rose bush actually, when I first got them. And now they have grown this tall. Gorgeous white blooms. Of course, you can't hurt these things. They love the dry weather. They don't need to be watered a lot. You can always count on blooms. It's not like the pink and the blue ones where some years you might get some blooms and some years not as many. This is another red rose that is gorgeous, but of course the Japanese beetles have got it. But whenever it's in full bloom, it's gorgeous. Okay. Kind of disappointed in the containers. Not sure what's going on with those, but they were looking better in the beginning of the season. What you're looking at now is the Autumn Joy sedum. One of my favorite perennials. You can always count on it to come back every year. You can't hurt it. Wow, the mosquitoes are bad right now. It looks succulent. Looks like a succulent. These are the blooms. About midsummer, they'll start turning pink. And then come fall, they will be a deep rusty pink color. Alright. More of that blue Victoria Salvia. And I've just repeated the theme and the flowers through the front. All of this is sedum, which some of these might have been. As they get bigger, I might have to move these elsewhere, but here is the other spireas. They're not as big as the ones that you saw a while ago. I just got these this year. My knockout roses looking horrible. I've got to get that Sevin Dust on those. Usually it's a pretty pop of hot pink there, but not this year. This side of the arbor, we had the spring was a purple clematis. On this side, and it has really got some growth on it now. In the previous videos I've posted, you can see how fast this has grown. But this is a moonflower vine. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this before. It gets the big white blooms on it. I think some of them, not sure about this one, but some of them have that burgundy center. They're supposed to be fragrant. And oh, they bloom in the evening. But anyway, I won't spend much time on that because they're not in bloom yet. Let's walk on over to this. Yeah, here's that dogwood tree. Pink flowers in the spring. I've moved a red rose up here yesterday. It was in the back, not getting much sun. So I thought it'd be nice to have a big pop of red here. Again, like in the front landscape around the house, sedum. Give you a close-up of that blue Victoria salvia as the cat bumps my phone again. One of my favorite annuals. And this marigold is a French marigold. In case you're wondering what variety I use, it's the French. It's got a little bit of the red in it, orange red. Creepy white van. Okay. Potentellas. For some reason, this one isn't looking so good. Not sure what's going on with that. But this is how they're supposed to look. They are just loaded, usually loaded with these yellow blooms on them. Give you a close-up of that. Nice color contrast with the blue and the yellow. Also on the border, I've got this ajuga, which is like a 2-color ground cover. I'm trying to let it spread or whatever, so I've dug up little pieces. Oh, and this yellow here, also got some creeping buttercup, I think it's what it's called. In the back here, of course, they're not in bloom yet. And I keep on waiting for these to bloom. This is their second year here. But these are the Annabelle hydrangeas. And when they do bloom, they're supposed to be covered in the white blooms. More rounder, smaller blooms versus the ones that we've got up front. Right. A new perennial or daylily that I've added to the garden is this bright red daylily, which is called, this variety is called Funny Valentine. I got them at Myers Garden Center. And when the Annabelle hydrangeas are in bloom, I thought the red popping off the white would be pretty. So I've got to go and get a few more of the daylilies. Alright. Let me show you one more thing. It's hard to pass this guy up. This is, call this our circle garden. It's in the middle of our yard. This is the Mexican sunflower. Gorgeous bright orange blooms. Very rustic type flower. Mexican sunflower. We've got some asters in here, which are wanting to bloom already. Some more sedum. We have some of that tick seed in here. Is it tick seed or is it coreopsis? It might be a coreopsis. Here's some more of the Russian sage. We got Russian sage in here. Here's that plumbago plant. Still waiting patiently for it to really bloom out, but it's getting there. And there's the catmint. We've got a couple things at catmint. Walker's Low, which I've cut back in hopes that it will come back and rebloom later in the season. As you can see, some has. But yeah, keeping the blue and the orange and purple theme going. Alright, I usually take you through that gate, but I'm going to walk you guys around this side. I think it's going to finally rain for us. We've been pretty dry the past few days. Got a barberry here. This is a lantana. This one's called some kind of confetti, I think is the variety. But it'll be pink and orange. A peony that's done blooming. This is a hydrangea. This variety's called Bobo, which is looking good. I wish I had got another one of these instead of that one. But oh well. This is red lobelia, looking really good. This is its time to shine in July. Looking good with the Russian sage. This is my pig pot, which has rose moss in it, but isn't looking too good, probably because it's dry. But you can check it out on the other videos. Here's that lantana that I have down there. More of lobelia. This is just a regular old hydrangea. a wash tub I'm using as a container. And yes, guys, I have lots of weeds. So, don't mind the weeds. I think this is a super petunia, I want to say. And then I couldn't tell you what the other ones are. But I also have, and I don't know if they're going to bloom, but the pink and blue morning glory. I have it, training it to grow up the this little ladder. And then another barberry. Sweet potato vine, and an annual, a couple of smaller lantana, the yellow lantana. Some marigolds coming. Okay. Here is a lantana. I want to say this one's called Pot of Gold or something like that. Looking good. Black-eyed Susans are in their prime right now. Lorope or Lorope, variegated. I have it going up and down the sidewalk here. Looks good in a row or in a mass. Stays about this short. Perennial. Got some asters here. Got a few roses in here, some Forever and Ever, and then this one is a yellow Forever and Ever, and as you can see, Japanese beetles. Alright, I've got more of the purple aster. This rose is a drift rose. Pretty fuchsia color. And like I said, drift roses are covered tightly with all the blooms. Some Victoria salvia in there. This is lavender. It's done blooming, but I've got some primrose, the pink. There's some more of that lantana, some Russian sage. Very pretty texture in your garden and color. Question, does anybody know how to get make the blooms on the Russian sage deeper, like a deeper purple? If you do, let me know. It's pretty, but I've seen it where it's deeper purple than that. Okay, lamb's ear. Perennial, stays low to the ground. Does not like its feet wet. So don't put this in an area that stays wet all the time. More sedum. And this here is our Rose of Sharon. Of course, it's covered in the Japanese beetles. Maybe by next video I'll have that Sevin-Dust on here. Pretty blooms on this variety. Not sure what the variety is. Rose of Sharon. And I just got a Nandina over here. Another Rose of Sharon here. Some sunflowers that are about done. There's some more of the sedum, autumn joy, and some coneflowers. Alright guys, let's go to the back. Black-eyed Susans, like I said, doing good. This pink phlox, it's a taller phlox. It just keeps going and going. So I thought they were about done blooming, but I was wrong. Very pretty. More of that Russian sage there. Okay. Speedwell, purple. Pretty red zinnias. I love the red ones and the purple ones. Probably the reds are my favorite. And they're in the back of the garden here by the fence. Some white ones. Orange. Very easy to grow. You can always count on these guys to come up and bloom. Perfect for a cottage country garden, which is what we have. It's my favorite style of gardening. There's a purple prince one there. Another gorgeous rose. This one's a carpet rose. Loosestrife, about done. Give it another week or so, and then there's the cat. They love butterflies. Some more of that pink phlox there. Daylily. Most of my daylilies are finishing up. Autumn Joy sedum. Black-eyed Susans. And this is a hot pink phlox. That's a new plant this year. Gorgeous white coneflower. Looking good with the backdrop of that 9-bark. This is a 9-bark shrub. Annual here. Moonflower back there. New bloomer this week for you guys is the hardy hibiscus. Very pretty. hardy hibiscus. I think this one's Midnight Marvel, I want to say. Looking good. Shasta Daisy. Some more phlox still blooming for us. Nice pop of white. Like I say every time, my favorite daylily. Huge blooms. This one's called Night Beacon. Very pretty. Alright guys, I'm going to make the end of our tour kind of quick because the mosquitoes are so bad. Another daylily and a blue spruce there. Here is another hardy hibiscus blooming for us. This one looks like raspberry jam, maybe. Beautiful white gladius. I think the white ones are my favorite. Gladius. And some darker purple phlox. Okay, back here we've got a David Austin rose. I think this is one of the last blooms of the season that we're gonna get. Got one more there. Obedient flower has calmed down. I'll be cutting that back, the white. Night Beacon again, daylily. Coneflower, red coneflower, still looking good. As well as the lollipop verbena. And the blue, great blue lobelia. Love